and welcome to a new episode of the Yarnflakes Podcast. My name is Audrey and this is a nitty yarny podcast from the southwest of France. Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. I hope you're all doing very well. I am. I have a short but hopefully sweet episode for you this week with a pattern release, a couple of works in progress and an exciting future plan. So yes, I think we can start right away. I have just finished quite an intense workout, so if I feel a little dizzy and out of sense, not making really much sense, I apologize, but hopefully it will be okay. So I'm gonna start right away and just quickly tell you what I'm wearing. I am wearing my Rauma pullover, which is a pattern from Sari Nordlund, which I test knitted for her. I think you will remember that little detail. It's a 3-color sweater, color block sweater with a twisted stitch panel at the front. There's also a unicolor version. And yeah, I knitted mine out of Holst Garn Supersoft in Almond. Vintage Heather is the blue and Tundra is the green. And the pattern has a gauge of 21 stitches per 10 centimeter. And as you can see, the Holst Garn is doing okay. You might find it a little bit too loose. For my personal taste, this is alright. 21 stitches is about as low as I would go, holding Supersoft single. I've just watched one of Ellie's last podcasts where she talks about it, and she gets a lot of questions about Holst Supersoft and whether or not you always have to hold it double. And I realized I also get a lot of questions about that, and I don't really understand because sometimes for example, for my woolen honey sweater, it's a 26 stitches gauge, and people insist that I must have held the yarn double. I didn't. It's a light fingering weight and it blooms really well, so you really do not have to hold it double unless you want to, unless you prefer a firmer fabric. But I'd say that if you're at a gauge of 26 to 30 stitches per 10 centimeter or 4 inches, holding a double is really unnecessary because you're just gonna have a really dense, firm fabric and you might not like that. But yes, you can absolutely hold Supersoft single even for 21 stitches gauge. It works fine if you like that type of fabric. I do, so yeah, everything's alright with that. It's nice and comfy, it's quite lightweight obviously, and yeah, I like it for these types of really weird warm February days. But yes, that is it for what I'm wearing. I'm gonna jump right away into a design release. So I forgot to say, you can find timestamps to all the different sections of the podcast in the description down below. So if you want to skip anything, feel free to jump ahead. I will also put links to everything that I talk about, as well as my social media and patterns on Ravelry, etc. That's the workout talking. So, next up is a design release that I have just put up on Ravelry, and it's a project that you have seen, and I believed I talked about it quite a lot. So, I will just do a quick refresher as these mittens are now available on Ravelry. So, these are the Prisos mittens. They're mittens with an inspiration from traditional Scandinavian construction. That is, they have a pointy top and the thumb on the palm. So, palm, I'm really trying to do it right. I want to say, I sometimes get comments about you addressing my accent and my ability in English. Never hesitate if you notice that I'm pronouncing something wrong, or if you want to give me tips or advice, or if I have if my vocabulary is a bit off and you want to help out, it's absolutely fine. On the contrary, I encourage you to do that because, yeah, I would like to be a little bit more eloquent. So if you want to help me do that, that is totally fine. Do not fear making me any remarks regarding that. They are very welcome. So the thumb is on the palm, trying. And yes, so these motifs are from a colorwork hat that I released in December. And one of my testers for the hat noticed that it would work really well as a mittens, and she wanted matching mittens. And yeah, it works really well. So thank you so much for suggesting that, because I absolutely love them. So yeah, there are typical constructions with little twists on. I basically just made the pattern I would like to have if I wanted to learn how to make these mittens. So there are little twists in where the decreased are placed on the top, on how the instructions for the thumb are written, especially regarding this bit here. I try to tweak things from experimenting a little bit, and my testers were really happy with the instructions. So I'm really thankful for their help, and I have seen some lovely color associations, so I can't wait for you to see all of this. And yeah, there's a ribbed cuff with techniques to do a jogless strap. I'm gonna try them on so you can see how it fits. There is one size written as per all my small accessories colorwork, and all precise dimensions are written on the pattern, which is something that I found missing sometimes. I just don't want you to have to do the math for yourself, and so I've written like the circumference, the total length, and also the length from here to here, because that is the point where I have the most trouble when I'm knitting colorwork mittens. So yeah, everything will be written in the pattern and in the Ravelry pattern page, so you can have a look at that. And the pattern also has tips and the math for you to adjust gauge if you want a slightly bigger or slightly smaller mitten, because that is the easiest way for you to achieve that. But yeah, my hands are rather medium but quite long, and they fit me well, nicely, with a little bit of ease, and they're nice and warm. And what else did I want to say? Yes, if you want to swatch, make sure 1, you swatch in the round. 2, that doesn't work with these mittens. 2, I'm ridiculous. 2, that you swatch in the same way as you would knit, because you do not knit in the round the same way on like a sweater body, where you don't have to magic loop, or you're on a bigger circumference. You're probably going to be knitting differently than on a small circumference. I know that if I am knitting on a small circumference, I tend to get tighter, and with DPNs especially tighter. Like I usually avoid making my own designs using DPNs, because as I'm figuring out the fit, I know that my DPN gauge is a bit messed up. And since from the get-go I have I have a colorwork gauge that is very square, it is not rare for me to get the same number of stitches than the same number of rows per 10 centimeters when I'm knitting colorwork, like the exact same number. Yeah, I just don't want to push the weird gauge too much. So yeah, if you swatch, make sure you swatch the same way as you are going to be knitting the actual project. These mittens are super quick to knit. They're knit in DK weight, so if you don't want to swatch, I mean, it's totally fine. Start knitting, try them on, and if you see that it's a bit too tight, you would like them to be a bit looser, you would like them to be a bit smaller, just change your needle early on. You see, maybe just knit the cuff chart and try them on, see how it is, and yeah, you can juggle like that if you don't want to make a swatch, which is perfectly understandable for such a small project, which you can knit in about a day. So yeah, I'm just going to show you the motif a little bit more. There are a few floats to catch. I do give instructions on how to do that, where to do that, and yeah. And here's the motif on the palm and the little thumb, as you can see. Voila. So the main brain work on this pattern was really around the design of the thumb, and I really wanted it to strike a little bit and be consistent as far as edges goes. So as you can see, the blue lines, they're continuous everywhere, and yeah, that was really important for me at the top of the mitten as well, because I don't know, I have a little brain issue when you have decreases and the motif, like you would have white and purple stitches decreased, and it wouldn't make such a clear line. So that's just a little drawing thing that I did here. And yeah, I think they're good beginner mittens if you want to give colorwork mittens a try, and yeah, I really like them. They don't use that much yarn. I personally used less than 100 meter of DK weight for both mittens in both colors. And so yeah, just keep in mind that if your gauge is slightly different, because you want to alter the size, you might need up to like 130-50 meter for the main color. But yes, I really like them. As usual, there's a little coupon code for the release. It's going to work throughout the weekend until this Sunday, and it's the code, I don't know what it will be. Prisosmit. Yeah, let's do that. And it will give you 15% off the pattern. So yeah, I hope you like them. I think I have said again the essential bits about it. Yeah, you can check the pattern link in the description, and yeah, this is a way to start March nicely, I think. Yes, I think I can continue with a work in progress. I will not show you my shifty sweater just because I am still on the body and I don't have much to say about it. It is going nicely. I have started my last color, and yeah, hopefully in a bit you're gonna see it finished, because I really like how it's going. But yeah, my first work in progress I want to show you is the new Florasol sample, which I mentioned in last episode that I was reknitting. So this is a shawl design I released last year, and yes, I am onto the second section, which is an eyelet section in garter stitch. And yeah, it's been really fun to reknit from my own instructions and kind of fixing things a little bit, because yeah, this pattern was released in May, I think, and since then I have been able to improve my pattern writing, so I'm doing some little tweaks and things in how things are phrased. And yeah, but it's really interesting to see, and I'm showing you the wrong side, to see how it's working out. So again, this is a boomerang type shawl, and I really like how these types of shawl just curls at the end, because you have it's unbalanced, since you have a decrease on one side and a double increase on the other side. It just tends to twist like this, and I think that's really nice. It makes thinner shawl compared to what I'm about to show you next. But yeah, it's really nice and drapey. Garter on the bias is super comfortable and nice to knit. So this is the first striped sections that I finished, and I'm onto the eyelets, which are alternating. And I really like the tonal variations of the yarn. I am using Papiput yarn in her Tough Sock base, which is a regular superwash merino nylon sock base. And this is Abu. And as you can see how it's knitted up in the eyelet section, it's really nice. It's not too subtle, there's definitely large nuances, which I really appreciate. Yeah, I really like them. And the contrast color, which you can see in the little stripes, is Smoke Ace. And I can't wait to get onto the last section, which will use this color in texture motif. So yeah, I'm about almost halfway done through this section. And yeah, I am knitting this continental to give my elbow a little bit of rest. And I'm trying to improve because basically I can knit continental just fine, but as soon as I have to do an actual stitch, like a yarn over or a decrease or twist or even slipped stitches, yeah, I'm still not comfortable doing that. So I'm trying to improve that, so I can really switch between right hand and left hand when I'm knitting to make it easier on my articulations. And so I'm knitting continental for this section, and we'll see if I feel comfortable enough doing continental for the texture section. It's slipped stitches, so it should be okay. My problem is there's a yarn going to the front and to the back, so yeah, I don't know how efficient I will be at that. But yeah, this is Flora Saule. I'm just going slowly on it and we'll see how it evolves, and hopefully I will sort of have a relaunch of the pattern in spring 1 year later. So yeah, the last work in progress I want to show is a new project, a new design that I'm working on. And first of all, I just want to show you the bag in which I'm holding. Now, I rarely talk about project bags, and that's because I don't own many. I have a lot of tote bags and just cheap drawstring things. So yeah, I don't have a lot of nice proper project bags. But when I saw this, I wanted it. So this is a bag crafted by Melissa of PT2. She's a French maker. She's on Etsy, so I will link her shop in the description. And she just started making these really nice drawstring bags. And basically she does everything herself. She draws the motif. So as you can see, it's like knitting tea time with skeins of yarn, a little bit of tea. And the books here have some really nice titles. Socks design, it's in French, so sock design, brioche encyclopedia, is that how you say? I'm trying to read backwards. Yeah, stockinette and company, cables, Irish cables, and expert colorwork. So, and the top ones is just a heart and tea, a book on tea. Wouldn't that be nice? So and it's in this bright blue color. She has a bunch of different color. I know nothing about sewing, but this is really neat. There's this fabric handle, which is nicely put in. It's really nice, solid and firm. The drawstring as well just works really smoothly and without effort. Sometimes when you have a new bag, it's kind of hard, but this just is very smooth. And yeah, the inside is super clean. As you can see, the seams. It has flat bottom, so it stands. I got I think it's a large size or the big size, I don't know. But it's it's a really nice size. I'm basically holding 3 skeins of yarn and the project in it, and I still have room, so I think I would be able to make this a sweater bag as well. The only thing is that it tends to catch the little bits of fluff of the yarn in the fabric, but it's okay. I think it's also due to the type of yarn I'm currently having in it, which is View yarn, which is a mini dyer from Wales. She's a natural dyer, and this is some yarn that I got a while ago, and I showed it to you as I got it, and I originally intended to knit a sweater out of it, but I changed my mind about a dozen times. And yeah, it is dyed with madder. It's like an end bath of madder, so it's quite a light color. It's not as orange as it's showing. Okay, this is a bit more accurate. It's like a light peach, and it's really nice. So I have 3 skeins of that, and I decided to make a shawl. Usually my shawls use about 2 skeins worth. They're like a medium size, and yeah, I thought for once I'm gonna make a big shawl. And so I'm still hesitant about the shape, but this is what I have so far. So okay, you can see I started here, and so at first I thought I was going to make a triangle. So I was going to increase and then decrease, but I decided against it because I think it's just gonna get really wide. I wanted a shawl that was wider at the tips, so as you can see, I had to redo the tip quite a bunch of time to get it right. And yeah, it's getting wide really quickly because I want it to be like really blankety and cozy. And yeah, so it's already quite a nice width. I'm going to increase it a little bit more, but I don't want it to go down to your knees. So instead of making a triangle, now I'm thinking that at some point I'm going to stop increasing, make a straight center of the shawl, and then decrease to mirror the other side. That's the idea right now for the shape. As far as the actual shawl design goes, so there's lots of nice squishy garter stitch where you can really appreciate the color. I'm knitting this at a tighter gauge than I usually would knit a shawl. I'm using 3.5mm needle. The yarn is a Falkland Merino. It's a 4-ply, but it's quite plump, as you can see. It's a 2-ply, yeah, I said 4-ply because fingering weight, but it's a 2-ply yarn, and it's nice and plump, non-superwash. And yeah, the garter stitch is a bit denser than the other shawls I've knitted, which has a really loose and drapey garter base. This is a little bit more squishy, which I really like. And the border of the shawl, well, I'm going to try to show you. Ta-da! So, I wanted to incorporate this leaf motif, which I used in a previous design of mine, the Vath mittens, which are small fingerless mittens with this motif on it. And I wanted to use it in a shawl, but it was a bit tricky because basically the stitch count of the leaf motif increase. It's not complicated to knit. It has a couple odd stitches, but I made a video tutorial for it. But it's a bit tricky to incorporate it in a big project and make the instructions clear, because I didn't want something that would look absolutely ridiculous as a chart and would make zero sense. I didn't want it to be complicated, and so I ended up putting it on the border. So the increase of the shawl are happening right here. I put a little, sorry, I'm hitting the chair on where the phone is standing. I put a little plait cable here, which is really pretty and really simple to knit. It's only a 4 rows repeat, and all the wrong side rows are purl. And I'm making a video tutorial as well. I filmed it. I just filmed it. I need to edit it. about how to read your knitting so that you know which row you have to work just by looking at it, so that you don't have to keep track of this. And the only thing you have to keep track of when knitting the shawl is the leaf motif. So even though there are two different patterning here, you only need to keep track of one, and that makes it so much more relaxing and simple to knit. Now I had to change the leaf motif from the mittens a little bit, because now it's worked flat and on a garter stitch base, and I really love how it pops. It's really plump, and I can't wait to see how it blocks. Yeah, you can see how it's looking. I'm in the middle of one here. Yeah, so I am thinking like in the center section there will be something happening in the garter. I'm thinking simple geometric lines of eyelets, perhaps there's gonna be tassels incorporated in the body of the shawl. Yeah, juggling with ideas as I'm knitting with it. And yeah, I just really like that leaf. I'm sorry if my needles are clicking against the wool. Yeah, I really like that, and I think it shows beautifully in the yarn, and I just really like that peachy color. The shawl has a name. It's gonna be Saule, which is the French word for willow, like the tree, types of tree. And yeah, because it's leafy, and I just wanted to name a design that, because they're my favorite trees. It's so ridiculous to have favorite trees. Yeah, I'm an idiot, but you get what I mean. I really like willows, and especially weeping willows, but even the other types of willow. And yeah, so Saule. And also it's easy for me, because if you want to pronounce it like soul, you can. Not a problem. But yeah, this is what I'm working on right now as far as designing goes. And yeah, I'm looking forward to making up my mind about the shape and the last bits of design elements to it. And yeah, I hope that it will be a nice little springy, summery release. It's gonna be a huge cozy shawl, so maybe not a really nice summery shawl, but I don't know, I like knitting shawls in the warm weather, so I hope you will too. It's fingering weight. Yeah, that is it for what I've been working on. I want to end this episode by talking to you about my future plans, and I have bought yarn. Anyway, let's go back to the beginning. Marie-Amélie Designs released a new sweater pattern. Now I am supporting Marie-Amélie through Patreon. She's a French designer, but she releases all our patterns in English as well. So she gets them professionally translated. She's a great designer. She's really kind. She's so helpful to other silly little newish designers like me, and I really appreciate what she's doing, and I really like her designs. And I support her through Patreon, so I get a free pattern, a pattern every month through Patreon. And she just released the Longan, I hope I'm saying it right, the Longan pullover, which is a really beautiful colorwork yoke with a motif inspired by checkered floors. And you probably seen it, I think Isolda shared it on Instagram, and lots of people liked it because it has this really nice graphic mosaic type, like the checkered floors motif, and it's so nice. I really like it. It's a bit oversized as well, and yeah, I just couldn't resist, basically. And the pattern isn't, the sample is knit in Holst Garn Supersoft. And so I actually had yarn. I had a blue yarn. It's not super soft. I had its Tides. It's the one with a little bit of silk, same. It was blue, and then I had some light grey as well that I could have used together. But I thought I wanted to do something else. As I was looking through the project pages, I really liked the versions where the colorwork motif were darker. There's a version where the body is a dusty pink and the colorwork is like darker burgundy, and I think it looks great. And I really liked that versus having a light contrast. And for a while now, I wanted to try Rauma Finull yarn. So I ordered yarn, and it's my first time having it, and yeah, I'm really eager to see how it's going to be. So as soon as I finish either my shifty or my Flora Saule, I'm going to cast the sweater on with these. So I really hesitated a lot with colors. At first I wanted something burgundy, but yeah, I couldn't figure out the right combination of color with one of them being burgundy. So in the end I settled for this. So this is going to be my main color. This is color 4287. It's sort of a muddy grayish blue. And this is going to be my contrast yoke, and it's color 4387. That's convenient. And yeah, so this is in case you don't know the brand, that would be odd, but this is a Norwegian yarn. It's a fingering weight yarn, natural wool, 100% non-superwash, really nice and colorworky. It is soft, a bit softer to the touch than Holst Supersoft as a skein, so I will see how it is when it's blocked and washed. And yeah, I really like it. So this one is Finull PT2 because they kind of merged two ranges of yarns as far as I understood. But this is only Finull yarn, so I'm not sure if that color is still actually existing. I don't know. But yeah, this is going to be my color combination for the longan pullover, and I can't wait to cast on. Yeah. And I think with that, this is all I wanted to share for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I will probably see you again around the middle of March. And yeah, in the meantime, have a lovely rest of the day, night and week, and I will see you later.